Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here, welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you folks remember Rift, right? Trion World's free-to-play MMORPG that started out as a sub-only MMO. So this week, Trion released their producer's letter for 2018 that talked about what the game has in store for players in the near future. And one of them includes Rift Prime, which is supposedly a brand new subscription-only Rift server that players must start from fresh again in vanilla, with all the content progressively unlocked as time goes on. Think of it as a nostalgia or a classic server, but with some Trion rules in place, such as faster progression over the original servers, and the big one, which is there's going to be no microtransactions whatsoever on the Prime server. Apparently, this has been a very prominent feedback from the player base, of course, that microtransactions, loot boxes, and all that stuff should not exist in any new challenge servers, which is why Rift thinks it should charge players monthly for this new Prime server. Besides that, the Prime server will also introduce scaling to match player levels to the current zone level, dungeon loot that drops for your character's true level, and participation rewards that carries over to the existing servers from Prime. The tentative date for the Prime server's release is spring 2018. Now the real question is, if you are a current or former Rift player, would you pay the subscription price to check out Rift again from a different light with this new Prime server? Now, I played Rift many years ago before and after it went free to play, and there's a lot of things I liked about the game. The dynamic landscape Rift events were pretty refreshing to me at the time, and mind you, I was only playing Lotro back then. I really loved the class system too. There was so much freedom to experiment and create your own class, and over the years I think they've kind of dialed that back a little bit. The PvP, the world, its setting, and the story got pretty deep as well. And deep down inside, part of me regrets not sticking with it longer to get the full experience. Over the years though, Trion Worlds didn't do themselves any favors with their free-to-play model. I understand why they had to do it though. Subscription models were becoming irrelevant as the age of free-to-play and buy-to-play caught up, and even back then, paying a subscription in addition to buying all the expansions and content would have cost new players a lot of money to catch up. The player base also started dwindling, with folks moving on to greener pastures, and we saw more and more microtransactions hit the cash shop. And looking at it now, yeah, it's a mess. And who can forget last year's $100 loot box for a random mount? Who the hell on the team thought that this was a good idea or likely to be well received not only from players of their game, but from the wider gaming community as well? Needless to say, that backfired and they removed that from the game. Which is why I'm slightly turned off by the notion of having to pay a subscription for Rift Prime in order to get rid of the microtransactions. It's like Trion is saying, hey, we hear you, you hate microtransactions, and we've kinda milked you to keep the game alive, so now you'll have to pay us monthly instead to recapture that early Rift magic on Rift Prime. However, I'm not saying that this is a bad move. I do appreciate the idea of Rift Prime since I never played it at launch, and I think it'll be a pretty cool way to experience the game as it was at launch. It's also probably going to bring players back, especially those who left because of the free-to-play and the microtransaction madness. Nostalgia is also probably going to be a key factor when it comes to how successful Rift Prime becomes, and I do intend to check it out in the spring. For existing players, there's probably concerns of starting fresh and earning everything on Prime again, but I think it's optional, and if you're happy with the current game, then nothing really changes. Will this put Rift back on the map again? Time will tell. So, what about you folks? Do you think Rift Prime is a good idea, and will you pay the subscription to check it out at release? Let me know in the comment section below. And that's it from me folks. Hit the like button if you have fond memories on Rift, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're new here for more MMO content. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. Hey, welcome to the end screen. If you've made it this far, it means you've watched the entire video, and I thank you very much for that. If you want to watch more videos, you can click the cards at the bottom here, anyone would do. And you can subscribe to my channel by hitting the big round button here to get notifications on all my latest videos. See you guys in the next video.